tires on the 48, newer tires on the 20. Kenseth will take the lead as they come out of turn 2. Three wide. Denny Hamlin on the outside. Kyle Busch right in the middle of that 3 wide situation. Casey Kane in the 5 on the bottom of the track, trying to make the bottom work. Johnson's falling back to 3rd. Kenseth and Logano 1 and 2. "19 laps and counting. Now just 18.
And you talked about it, Jeff. The battle for the lucky dog is really heated up. Kevin Harvick's in the position. Martin Truex Jr. won it. They know with 18 to go, if there's a caution, they need to get back to the lead lap to try to save these points they've lost with pit mistakes under green.
And remember, the first car that is 1 lap down, when the caution comes out, he will get the pass around me, but he can pass the leader. That will put him back in the lead lap. And with only 14 cars in the lead lap, that is a tremendous gain.
And Jeff, that's if a caution comes out. Here's the battle now. Martin Truex Jr. looking to the inside. Marty.
Martin Truex Jr. asked his spotter, does the 47 of A.J. Allmendinger know what we're doing? Know that we're racing for the lucky dog. That is a tight battle. They reminded him, you must get by that 4 car, and it looks like Truex might be able to do it here on the backstretch, Rick.
Down the backstretch, they've got the 24 and the 19 in front of them as they're trying to race for that lucky dog position. Truex in front of the 4 of Kevin Harvick. But again, it will take a caution for that to pay off for Martin Truex Jr. And now just 16 to go. Matt Kenseth trying to punch his ticket into the 3rd round, not have to worry about going to Talladega and fight his way into the 3rd round.
Well, who's also not worried about Matt Kenseth leading this race? He has Logano coming. Logano has chopped into the lead a little bit. It was almost a second. This time by, it's a half a second. The 22 is working the top of the racetrack. We see here 2 completely different lines. 2 very fast race cars, though. It shows a multi-groove racetrack, different ways to get around here.
It was a half a second the last time they were at the stripe. This time by 14 laps to go. Logano doesn't want to give Matt Kenseth an opportunity to advance to the 3rd round with a win. If Logano can get in front of him and win this race, Matt Kenseth will have to fight back in based on points. Logano on the high side, continuing to close the gap. It was 0.2 of a second last time by.
When does Matt Kenseth get off the bottom, Jeff? When does he go up and try to block the 22's line?
The spotter's talking to him, letting him know where the 22 is, letting him know where he's beating him. You know, you just got to make that decision as a driver. Matt likes the bottom of the racetrack, or he would be at the top. So the problem is you're going to give up a little speed when you go to try to block the 22. There he goes.
15 hundredths of a second separated the 2 cars that time by. Kenseth moves up the track, trying to take that line away from Joey Logano. Logano's on his back bumper. Now Logano to the bottom of the track. Kenseth stays high as they work their way through 3 and 4. Logano trying to pull even with the 20.
Joey Logano, the left rear tire that came off of that car was damaged. It was, quote, coming apart, according to crew chief Todd Gordon. He said we're in much better shape now, and clearly Joey can race for the win.
And Mike, you talked about the race yesterday. This is identical to what happened in the Xfinity race. Matt Kenseth was leading, and his teammate was trying to run him down. Matt had to go and block on the outside and ended up not winning, and Busch won the race. But this is exactly that scenario. And the question is, did Matt learn? Is he able to apply that? These are completely different cars, but the situation is exactly the same.
Because here's where I see the 22 can't run the bottom. He can only run the top. So why Matt Kenseth isn't good at the top of the racetrack, sometimes, Rick, it's not about where you're good. Take away his line.
And right now, Kenseth back to the bottom of the track as Logano stays right up against the wall. This time by, it will be 8 laps to go.
And look, this isn't easy. Look how hard Matt Kenseth's having to work. Look at the steering wheel. Every time he moves that steering wheel, that's input into the front tires. He's having to catch the back of the car, turn the front of the car. There's a lot of work in that car right now.
through the middle of the track. Kenseth sawing on the wheel, trying to stay in front of Logano.
See him pick his head up, look in the mirror, trying to
clear by 2.5.
watch him on the straightaway. In the corners, he's only focused on what's ahead of him. He's paying attention to his line. But as he gets on the straightaway, he glances up. He looks in the mirror to see if that corner worked well for him. Did Logano catch me? Did I get away from him? That way, when you go into the next corner, you can do the same thing if it worked.
And every corner entry is a chess match. Are you going to run the middle, the top? Where's the 22 going to be? The spotter tries to help, but at the speeds they're carrying, he has to commit. He has to commit when he gets to the corner. He can't wait for the 22 to make a decision.
Under 7 laps to go. Closing in on the final 9 miles of this race.
You see how hard it is. You can hear the throttle. You hear Matt Kenseth have to get out of the throttle. You saw the wheel input. You know, this is very difficult. Matt Kenseth has the 22 is a little quicker. There's no question about it. Matt's really going to have to work hard these next 6 laps.
And even with 6 to go, though, there are 3 cars just in front of him on the backstretch. That's going to make this line even more important. This 20 has to decide, where do I want to enter the corner? When am I going to catch these cars? How am I going to get around them?
And remember, even though they're slower cars, still aerodynamically, you get a huge hurt by being behind them. So right there, Matt Kenseth, he really lost his entire race car and able to 22 to catch him.
Here comes the 22. He's closed the gap all over the back bumper now as they've caught the slower traffic. And around goes the 20, sideways in front of the 22. Kenseth slides. Caution comes out.